Previously, we've talked about how the Oracle changed the equation in a developed plan to go against the architect, unbalance the equation, and break the cycle. Up until the 6th version of the Matrix, the intuitive program cooperated with the architect to perpetuate the system, but apparently, she changed her mind. Perhaps to give the humans a fighting chance, or maybe to improve the simulation as she saw fit. While we've already discussed the Oracle's possible plans for changing the simulation's equation, we haven't detailed what changes the intuitive program added. What exactly were the changes that the Oracle added to the Matrix equation to unbalance it? What did she do differently from the previous cycles? Welcome to Matrix Explained.
Welcome to the desert of the real.
Tired of your cookies not coming out as you want them to? That they don't taste like how your mother used to make them in her kitchen when you were a kid? Well, we have the solution for you. Introducing Oracle's Cookies, made only with the best ingredients and benevolent intentions. Oracle's Cookies will make you feel like you're the only one who can save the world. So don't delay. Pick up the phone and order now. There is absolutely positively nothing suspicious about Oracle's Cookies. If you can't trust this face, who can you trust?
Take a cookie. I promise by the time you're done eating it, you'll feel right as rain.
You played a very dangerous game.
Change always is.
The Oracle was the intuitive program created and designed to study and comprehend the human psyche. However, she gave herself a new purpose, one outside her initial programming.
What's your purpose?
To unbalance it.
So what were these changes? Looking over the films and paying some extra attention to every detail, we found a few noticeable changes caused by the Oracle. The first change was the relationship between Neo and Trinity. Neo's predecessors developed love and empathy towards humanity, but Neo's love developed differently.
Your 5 predecessors were, by design, based on a similar predication, a contingent affirmation that was meant to create a profound attachment to the rest of your species, facilitating the function of the One. While the others experienced this in a very general way, your experience is far more specific, vis-a-vis love.
Trinity.
This was not by chance, because the first person who mentioned that Trinity would fall in love with the One was the Oracle. That is, it was she who put the idea in Trinity's head that she was going to eventually fall in love with Neo.
The Oracle told me that I would fall in love and that that man that I loved would be the one.
However, Neo didn't harbor any romantic feelings towards Trinity until he met the Oracle.
I can see why she likes you.
Who?
Not too bright, though.
After Neo ate one of the Oracle's suspicious cookies, he began to change. He developed courage, confidence, and feelings for Trinity. This love was supposed to be for all humanity, as the architect had intended. However, the Oracle's first big change to the equation was to have the anomaly fall in love with only one person. Neo's predecessors were programmed to empathize with all humans, but when the time came for Neo to make his choice, he chose to save one human over billions. The second change in the equation was a psychological one. Neo began to have nightmares about Trinity's death, something the Oracle already knew about.
I know you're not sleeping. We'll get to that.
The fact that she already knew doesn't make sense, because it was the first time that the anomaly had created a strong emotional bond with one human. The Oracle knew about Neo's sleepless nights, because it was probably her who caused them. Neo's growing despair was due to the Oracle going MIA after the events of the first Matrix film. She wasn't around to offer him any guidance.
I wish I knew what I'm supposed to do. That's all. I just wish I knew.
She's gonna call. Don't worry.
Where are you?
The Oracle purposely went into hiding from the anomaly and the red pills to create an optimal level of desperation. The third change in the equation was thanks to Rama and Kamala. The Oracle knew and allowed these once trusted programs to trade the termination code of her shell to the Merovingian to have Sati safely transported to the Matrix. She willingly sacrificed her body. In truth, the Oracle was using the Merovingian, making him believe that he had found the key to killing her. It was all a ploy to get Sati into the Matrix and under her protection.
You knew about it, and yet you let it happen.
I had to,
Why?
because the child is important. I can't tell you why, but I believe that one day the child will change both our world and your world forever.
Currently, Sati's purpose is unknown, but we believe that she will play an important role in the future, perhaps either as the Oracle's successor or as the next one. But the riskiest change that the Oracle caused was undoubtedly allowing herself to be assimilated by Agent Smith. Smith himself wondered why the Oracle, a program that can foresee everything, stayed and waited for him.
The all-knowing Oracle is never surprised. How can she be? She knows everything. But if that's true, then why is she here? If she knew I was coming, why wouldn't she leave?
Smith knew perfectly well that it didn't make sense for the Oracle to be there unless it was for a purpose. Thanks to the Oracle allowing herself to be assimilated by Smith, she gave him almost infinite power. She was putting both worlds at risk. This could be the reason why Deus Ex Machina reluctantly agreed to work with Neo, because the machine knew that the Oracle was assimilated. It was only a matter of time before the Smith virus killed everyone, as the Oracle is the second most powerful program in the Matrix. It was her assimilated shell that fought Neo after all. Her dangerous and unpredictable little game, with all of its variables, completely changed the equation.
Will he succeed? There are so many factors. Between here and there are so many choices and so much fear.
The escalation of events reached a point that the Oracle could no longer predict the results of her unbalancing of the equation. Thus, she replaced the logic with faith.
Did you always know?
Oh no. No, I didn't. But I believed.
We don't know for sure the exact number of changes the Oracle implemented in the equation to cause the breaking of the cycle, but we have theorized that she was involved in influencing other events such as Cypher's betrayal, Smith's desire to stay within the simulation, and even the Red Pill's beliefs. The Oracle is one of the most powerful and dangerous programs. She doesn't use brute force to dispatch her enemies. She's a manipulator. She uses her enemies and allies to further her agenda, adding small variables over time to the equation and eventually changing it as she saw fit. But do you agree? What other variables did the Oracle add to the Matrix? Were they all planned, or were they mere coincidences?
Tired of your cookies not coming out as you want them to? That they don't taste like how your mother used to make them in her kitchen when you were a kid? Well, we have the solution for you. Introducing Oracle's Cookies, made only with the best ingredients and benevolent intentions. Oracle's Cookies will make you feel like you're the only one who can save the world. So don't delay. Pick up the phone and order now. There is absolutely positively nothing suspicious about Oracle's Cookies. If you can't trust this face, who can you trust?
Take a cookie. I promise by the time you're done eating it, you'll feel right as rain.
For Matrix Explained, please leave a like and subscribe. And thank you for visiting the Desert of the Real.